Okay, so this is my 100-mile review on the Adidas Adizero SL2. I actually have nearly 150 miles on these now, so when we talk about wear, you can take that into account. Um, Disclaimer, I bought these with my own money, although I did get a discount uh, as a nurse from Adidas, so appreciate that. Um, Start with the upper. Um, the upper is it's a very non-stretchy but breathable mesh kind of upper. Um, I think it's probably a little bit more plush. I'm not saying it's plush, but it's a little bit more plush than a lot of the other Adizero shoes. I have had no problems with lockdown. Um, it fits me well. Sometimes when I run, I do see a little bit of pouching out here, but I have not had any heel slip. The inside padding here is very typical Adizero kind of inside padding in that it doesn't really have it, it's not really a full plush padding. It just kind of has these little bumpers, but they are bigger than what is on some of the other Adizero shoes. The tongue is not gusseted, but it does have the loop here. Haven't had any issues with slippage. Um, this mesh, it seems pretty breathable. Have not had any issues. I took this on vacation, including to Greece, where it was quite hot. It's quite hot here in Southern California right now, and I haven't had any issues with breathability. Um, so let's see what else. Oh, the laces. The laces, they're thin. This is probably the only place where they really skimped on this shoe, and because otherwise it's and I'll describe it later. It's actually a really good value shoe. Um, as far as how durable it is, there's a little bit of fraying here on on the upper, and I think partly this is because sometimes I tend to scuff my feet together when I run, and so that makes I I tend to wear that spot on every shoe. Uh, Sizing is fine for me. I went with my normal 10 and a half, which I tend to be kind of between a 10 and a 10 and a half in all my shoes. Kind of either a big 10 or a small 10 and a half. So I went with the 10 and a half, and fit is pretty much perfect. Midsole. So the stack, um, it's listed as a 36 in the heel, 27 in the forefoot with a 9 millimeter drop, and about 8.4 ounces, I believe. Um, the material, which is, it's got their light strike foam sort of as the carrier here, and it's got a full layer of the Light Strike Pro, which is Adidas racing foam, and the Light Strike itself, it they're just calling it Light Strike. Before they used to call it like Light Strike 1.0 and Light Strike 2.0. So I know in the previous version of this shoe, the the EVA Light Strike foam was really firm. This one is not. This one's soft. And then with the Light Strike Pro on the inside, it makes for a very, very soft ride. Um, so let's see. I think that is about it there. It is not particularly rockered, but it does have a pretty smooth heel to toe transition. And I think part of that is like it's a 9 millimeter drop, but because the foam is really soft, that when you hit the ground, it's compressing a lot, so it doesn't feel like a really high drop shoe. Usually I like my stuff in the kind of in the 4 to 8 millimeter range, and this really does not ride like higher than 8 millimeter drop. Um, as far as the outsole, this outsole is incredibly durable. It is not the Continental rubber outsole that Adidas puts on some of their higher end Adizero shoes. Uh, on the wet, maybe the grip is not as good as you'll get with the Continental. It's still decent grip, but the durability is incredibly good. Like I said, I've got about 150 miles on here. This tends to be my highest wear area up here. A little bit on the heel because I do run a lot of hills, so the downhills I'm heel striking a little bit. But mostly up here, and even these little tiny grooves in here, there's almost nothing, almost no wear at all after 150 miles. So this outsole is going to last. It's going to last way longer than the midsole probably, and I would expect that I'm going to get some decent wear out of the midsole as well, because Adidas does tend to make their shoes pretty durable. Um, as far as the ride, so I know doctors of running like to use the terms like compliance, resilience. So compliance is basically how soft the foam is, how much does it compress. Resilience is how much energy return do you get back. Um, so as far as the compliance, how, what people might say, how soft is this shoe? It feels soft. This feels like a really cushioned shoe, even though they're only saying 27 millimeters in the forefoot, and I have no reason to question that, but I never feel like I'm bottoming out or even coming close to bottoming out in the forefoot. Um, so that's definitely a plus. So it feels very soft, feels like a cushioned shoe, despite the fact that it's not a very heavy shoe. It also doesn't feel mushy, and I think part of that is because of the Light Strike Pro. So the Light Strike Pro does, which is apparently kind of a bouncy foam, that it really helps to move me along. So I'm a midfoot striker, hit the ground, and I just kind of roll along in my stride, even though, like I said, it's not a particularly rockered shoe. You see, it looks very, very flat underneath. Compared to something like the Hokamach 6, the Brooks Hyperion Max, Asics Noosa Tri. Um, but I would expect to get good durability out of this midsole too. You can see there's some creasing in the EVA areas, but I think that's just showing that it's broken in. But I haven't seen it or felt any kind of diminishment in the performance of the shoe. Um, it's just a very comfortable ride. Although, okay, I will show this. So you see, it's kind of it's decently wide in the forefoot, and you can even see it from the front here. You know that you've got a little bit of flaring out on the side here. The the the, the midfoot here gets pretty narrow, and then it comes out a little bit on the heel, but it's still pretty narrow. And so if you have if you tend to pronate a lot, you're gonna feel this. Um, you're gonna feel this sort of a small waisted kind of area. And my son actually tried this on, and he felt that. Because I think he's a heavier pronator than me. So if you do need some kind of pronation support, this might not be the shoe for you. Um, what do I like about this shoe? Number one, it's just comfortable on foot, and I took this shoe as my only shoe on a 2-week vacation to Europe. I used it for walking around, doing all the tourist stuff. I used it for taking some morning jogs, just standing around and wandering through museums and stuff like that. So a lot of time on feet. I never felt like the foam was flattening out or anything like that. So this is going to be a really durable shoe. And as far as the amount of wear and tear and compression on the foam and on the midsole, like I said, I've got about 150 miles on it, but I think it really has more than 150 miles worth of wear and still feels great. I took it out today and yesterday for 8-mile runs, and I didn't feel like it was not recovered from yesterday at all. So definitely like that. And like I said, it's just comfortable. It's just the kind of shoe where it's just there. You just lace it up and go. Uh, the feeling is soft, but not too soft. The outsole is super durable. You can run on, gravel paths um, or dirt paths or road or whatever. Uh, that's about it. Uh, my dislikes. Any dislikes? The laces seem kind of cheap, but it's never been an issue on the run. Uh, if they made this a little bit more rockered, that would be awesome. Adidas doesn't tend to put really heavy rockers in their shoes, except for like their high-end stuff, like the Boston 12 or the Adios Pro 3. What are the alternatives? Well, I kind of mentioned them already. We've got shoes like uh, the Asics Noosa Tri 16 just came out. The Hokamock 6, the Brooks Hyperion 2 just came out, which is very, very similar to the Hyperion Max from the previous years, except perhaps with a softer, more responsive foam. Um, this one, I think, of these lightweight trainers, it's a little bit heavier than something like the Noosa Tri or the Hyperion 2, which are closer to in that 7 to 7.5 ounce range, whereas this one is listed at 8.4 ounces, and this is for the sample size. Uh, this one I think tends to feel more like a cushioned shoe than a lightweight speed trainer. So depending on what you're looking for, I think it's going to be super durable though. Um, and for the value, even at full retail, this is 130 bucks, and I think that's a really good price for this shoe. It's sort of a do everything shoe. You can just go out, take it on your daily runs. If you want to pick up the pace, definitely has the ability to do that. And it's a shoe that just kind of gets out of your way. So it's not going to give you a huge amount of speed assist. It's not going to be crazy bouncy like a, Hoka Cielo X1 or something like that. It's just going to do its job, and it does its job really well. And it doesn't feel like a lot of shoe on foot. And like I said, it's also really, really comfortable. Um, so, given what I think the durability is going to be like, this is going to be a really good value shoe, probably one of the best value shoes. And if you're somebody who only goes out maybe 3 times a week and wants to go out and run 3 or 5 miles or something like that, and you just want one shoe, this would be a really solid shoe to do it in. Of course, I'm saying all this for the perspective of somebody who's 130 pounds. So if you're like, sub 150 pounds, you could take all this, what I'm saying, pretty much take this to the bank. If you are a bigger runner, a lot of bigger runners, I've seen reviews and they do like this shoe, but your perception of how it works and the foam and stuff like that might be a little bit different, because those with different biomechanics, those that are different, different size runners and stuff like that, we do have a different experience of the shoe. Okay, so this is just my experience as a lightweight runner, that I'm not putting a ton of force down into the shoe. I always ask the question, would I wear them to work? 100%. These are super comfortable. That's why I took these on vacation as the only shoe on vacation, because I put them on, step and feel is really comfortable. They'd be a great work shoe because I don't like something so soft to work that like I tried the Asics Nimbus 25 at work, and although it's soft, it's cushioned and stuff like that, on those hard tile floors in the hospital, but it left my feet feeling a little bit tired. This one never does that because it's just not mushy soft. It's just perfect. Would I buy them again? Yeah, this is a shoe I would definitely buy again if it was later in the year and I needed another shoe or something like that, and I wasn't looking to try out something else. This is a great shoe. Um, like I said, there's almost nothing that I can say that's bad about this shoe. So I think that's about it for me for right now on the Adizero SL2. Maybe I'll do a follow-up once I get more miles on it. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope I've helped. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and comment with any questions, thoughts, or suggestions. Okay, have a nice day.